table. Every time I move this table, it does something different. All right, we're just going to jump into this. I'm going to talk chatterbaits. Now, we've got an unboxing, so we're going to get that out of the way. But I'm going to catch up to speed. We've already opened some chatterbaits. They arrived. They were all ordered at the same time. That's AliExpress for you. Sometimes stuff comes differently. So I want you guys to look at these, and you guys tell me which one of these is a jackhammer and which one is the one we just ordered. Can you guys tell the difference? Supposedly, where's it at? I thought the jackhammers told you the weight on them. Anyway, we just picked up two of these and they are very close. We unboxed in a previous video. And you can probably tell by the shinier ones, the new ones to the jackhammers. So I really wasn't looking for a direct doppelganger of jackhammers. I just saw these, thought they looked good. I didn't realize how much they do look just like a jackhammer. But we talked about weights and stuff, and I'm just kind of just searching. If I'm looking at other different things on AliExpress, why not double check? Even though you guys know, and I'm getting ready to talk about it, my preferred chatterbaits of choice are, always have been and always will be, Z-Man. I like the original. I like the custom, actually. I like a little more than the original. And then I like these smaller ones we're getting ready to talk about also. But what the heck, right? So if you don't know, I had ordered one chatterbait a year or so ago. I need to fix this table. That's driving you. It's driving me crazy, so I know it's driving you guys crazy. It's got like something. It's got something wrong with it. It's got issues. And normally you say if you got issues, get a tissue. Well, this time I'm really going to do that. I'm going to stick this tissue thing under it. That'll help. So let's just tear into this. Hang on. Count the packages. That's the AliExpress way. I think they give it a day and then they ship out multiple things all in one deal. So we got two. I think these are all, these may not all, that doesn't feel like it's got anything in it. There's three. May not all be chatterbaits, but they're all baits, and I think majority are chatterbaits. So we're going to get this unboxed, and then we'll go into more detail on jackhammers. This is a jackhammer chatterbait video, plus or minus the jackhammer. If you guys follow the channel, you know I'm not a jackhammer fan. Awesome bait. It's a Z-Man bait, right? It's awesome. Not all chatterbaits from Z-Man are good, by the way. The Freedoms, the broken neck looking ones, I do not like those. I'm not saying they don't work. For me, the way I fish, I don't like them. So, that cannot be a chatterbait. Anyway, let me find, oh boy, where'd my knife go? You guys seen a knife laying around here? Well, the X-Acto knife, I guess, comes close, right? I don't even know where this thing's sealed. I guess right here. So let's just start opening it, and I'll talk about the fact that I don't feel the jackhammer does anything any better than the Z-Man Custom. I don't feel it really does anything better than the Z-Man Original, other than you can fish it on a little lighter action rod. So therefore me, I'm BFS, right? Not even if I'm not throwing at BFS, I typically use BFS because I like throwing everything I throw on the lightest gear possible in a way, to make it a challenge, right? I'm just fishing for fun. We're out there having fun. That is a little, nothing else. No extra baits. That is a weird looking chatterbait, but it's a chatterbait. Let's pull it out of the package. Now I will be putting the link on, because I think this is all of them now. So whether I like them or not, because I don't really know now, even if I don't like the looks of them, they still may work good. But I will share the links in this video. And I may not do it right after I do make this video, but I will share you the links in case you guys just see one, you're like, oh, I gotta have that one. This is a weird, what in the world? I guess you can change that out, is why it's made like that. Now, I can tell you right off the bat, I don't like this one. But I gave it a shot. It's not very expensive, and I don't have the price off the top of my head, but I will be sharing the links. Look where that blade sets, and look how small that blade is. But if it gets to buzzing real fast, I mean, that may work. Hook is, as you can tell, very sharp. And it's, I like the wire. I do like the wire side. I just, honestly, I don't really like the hook placement or the blade placement, but I will try it. But it feels built solid enough, and you can throw it on. You could throw this on power. This cute little dude could be perfect for a power BFS setup. Oh, wow. All right, there's one. We'll set him over here out of the way. Let me get them all open, and then we'll go into more discussion. But you can never have, just so you guys know, in case somebody was wondering, you can never have too many chatterbaits. Really. I mean, you can, but let's face it, you can't really. But I'm also going to explain why you don't have to have a bunch of chatterbaits on your regular, like say 1/2 inch. And I'm going to get more into that here in a little bit. Oh, these aren't chatterbaits, but these I've been waiting to get in because I do want to check these out. These are little bitsy bug type things, right? Nothing else in there. If you guys have seen that lunker hunt, those little bitty crawl type creature baits I got in a while back, I basically ordered these before I went and bought those up at Rogers. But I think those, look at that. I think those on a little, let's take a break from chatterbaits. I know everybody's anxious to get, you know, full blown, let's go full chatterbait, right? No. I just want to pull one of these out and compare it to a few things. Look at that little bait. And I'll share the link to these too after, at some point, probably tonight. Are these, I don't think these are elastic. I think these will break. But to show you a few size comparisons, and I know I'm holding up nasty baits that I use for testing, but I'll just grab a few here. Hang on. Let's just do this. So you guys all know what this little bait we've been throwing is. There's just a little crappie jig, right? So there's that little guy compared. So yeah, you could put this on a little 16th ounce crappie jig, 1/8 ounce crappie jig. It's probably too small for an actual one that was designed for TRD. I'm not saying you can't get it on there and fish it maybe, but yeah, it's a possibility. Nice little BFS, perfect BFS size. So, you know, if a pink TRD works, this little pink dude there should work. You know, you can make out the colors. There's a top and bottom to them. I would imagine use the top of the purpley flecky stuff, and then the bottom is the mostly pink. And that is like a, it's almost like a methylate more than a pink. Really, just like looking from here, it doesn't really look as pink. So anyway, then you have this color, which let's flip it over and see what, I think it's got another color under it. They're all flipped the same way, or they're all the same color. Okay, it's the same. And it's just kind of a, like what, a pumpkin with the purple and, I don't know, kind of like what you would, a bluish turquoise, almost like the color you would also see in a June bug, the fleck in a June bug, but then the purple. That should be good too. These should just work. And it's a possibility. I'm going to leave one out because it's a possibility, and I'm jumping the gun here. Oh, I don't have my smallest ones. I got to get my smallest. That you could also use this on a trailer on the little bitty flashback chatterbaits, but that is going. I've jumped too far ahead of myself. There is a bait in there. That is so light and feels like nothing. Feels like nothing was in this thing. All right, back to chatterbaits for now, but there's a lot of possibilities for those little baits in BFS, those NOEBYs. And I don't think, well, if there, we'll have to see how durable they are. If like every little peck in a fish you lose one, then it may be out, but. Okay. Oh, this is, never mind. This, well, I'll show it to you since I had it in the way. That is not a bait. Does that look like a bait to you? This is actually just a chunk of cork for 90 cents that, you guessed it, I'm gonna, if you guys see me make my knobs for my handles. I just thought, well, let's get it. I have to make that hole bigger and then just see if I, you know, if that would work, because it's actual cork and it's only 99 cents. And you guys see me do the thing, and I couldn't find any that are actually the right size. So basically, I'll just need to make the hole that big, which will be hard to do for no bigger than that is already, and then just do a little rough shaping of that, because it is almost the perfect length. Like, it'll be perfect. I wish I couldn't find them where I just slide that in. And you guys seen the video where I make my own handles and knobs, and just give it a little taper on the inside is really all it needs, maybe around an edge, and you've got a cork knob, right? Very cheap if you have a Dremel tool and the capabilities to do it. So anyway, I forgot all about that thing. And yeah, I just ordered one. I'll try it, and if it just doesn't look right or seems funky or whatever, guess what? Just lost $1, no big deal, right? Now here, okay, this I can't remember, don't quote me on prices yet. But here's one that was, I think, like $3.50. And all these, by the way, are definitely cheaper than a Z-Man original. Otherwise, I wouldn't be messing with them. I want to say this was $3 something. And it looks good. But it's made just like this guy. That guy may have been $2 or $3. Actually, what's funny is the first batch I got, I think they were the cheapest, $2.50 each. And they look like almost direct copies of a Jackhammer, which are like $16. Oh, I ripped the packaging. That sucks. No, I usually throw it away anyway. But this definitely comes, you know, with its own packaging, a little more time spent in, I guess, marketing over there or whatever. I thought I got a free sticker. So this, and don't worry, we got it made here. That'll clean all that up. Same exact bait, just a different color. I guess a little fancier. The eyes, see that eye's got like the, oh, who has that eye? Is that River to Seas has their eyes with the, but that is the same exact size, same blade, just basically different painted color, skirt material. Oh, and I don't know if I talked about it on the other one. They also, that skirt material, that's not a rubber O-ring or nothing holding it. That is actual like thread tied on in the same way with these other two. Which honestly I don't like. The Jackhammers are like that. Yes, they'll last longer, but I like the option to be able to switch skirts at it, as I'm getting ready to talk about in a little bit. Okay, this should be, hopefully, Chatterbaits too. Hang on. And then we're going to get into it. Then we're going full on. We're going full on to Chatterbaitsville. Something like that. Let me check it. Nothing else in there. Is there only one? Okay, so maybe, yeah, that may be all I ordered. I can't remember. This is just one. Ooh, it's the JACKY HAMMAR! Woo! Look at that. No, that isn't a knockoff because it's not a Jackhammer. It's the JACKY HAMMAR. Completely different bait. Exactly. They're not trying to knock off nothing, right? That's funny. I guess I didn't even pay attention. I didn't know that was coming with that funky name. Just look at it. Look at it. That's funny. Oh, the Chinese people. They're in their new year right now. Crack me up. You guys crack me up with some of these names you come up with. Turquoise Fox, it's green. Come on. Lingle, what kind of name is that? All of them. Let's just know for a fact right now that Charlie Hicklin, right here now, I've coined a perfect name for a BFS reel that nobody's used yet. You want to know what it is? Feather Dragon. You heard it. Feather Dragon. That's a perfect name for BFS reel. I don't care if it comes from China, Japan, whatever. And then you could sell baits that were called Dragon Feathers because they're so light, right? Yeah, it's perfect. Marketing. I need to get a job marketing. The lingle, I definitely could have came up with a cooler name than lingle. Anyway, let me get this off. I want to be able to check the hook without hooking myself. Get this off, and then we're going full chatterbaits. This one has, I already don't like this skirting material, seems very sticky. Like if you guys have seen my old one, I got a Buzzbait that was submerged for a long time. That skirting material is kind of sticky. That's what it reminds me of, but it's tied on also. So I'm going to compare it to the ones that were only $2.50 because this may have been more money. I'll have to double check, and I'll just share the links, and it'll be up to you guys. Like I said, I'm not out here fishing none of these yet, so the link will be in this video. That way, if you want to refer back once I do get out and start fishing them, if I like them or not or whatever, it'll be like go back to the unboxing, the Jackhammer versus Chatterbait video unboxing. I'm trying to see if these are the same size. And although these came from a different place, packaged a different way, I think these are the same bait. The first batch I got for $2.50, and then this black and blue. But I think that when I found these for $2.50, I didn't have a black and blue color option. Is why I tracked down this one that I found, the black and blue. But I want to say it was more money because it's a JACKY HAMMAR, right? But it's the same pretty much as these. Blades look same made. There's nothing printed on them. This is definitely more of a shiny, and then this is a just solid black. And if you guys have just watched that other video, that's why I kind of repieced that video together. Go back and watch the Chatterbait video when I did a test comparing blade colors and overall skirt colors, and I found that day, for whatever reason, the black and blue was definitely, I caught all my fish on black and blue. But as I changed, or I didn't change, I just had different ones. I had the gold bladed one, black, which this is like two types of different black, I guess like a matte or just flat black, and then a shiny glossy gunmetal black. Shouldn't matter one bit. A fish, either one should work if you just want to kind of disguise the blade. You're not wanting the blade to give off any flash, where technically that might give off a touch of flash. This should not. But as you see, you never know depending on the lighting. What I found out in that video, blade color didn't matter. The skirt, the overall color of the bait is what made a difference. I had color similar to this, kind of a white one, and black and blue. Do I have any others? I don't know, but the black and blue was definitely the best. But check out that video. And I got a bunch of other videos on Chatterbaits and the Jackhammer for sure. So let's talk Chatterbaits, and give me 1 second. I know my videos are always, it's only 18 minutes in. Hang on 1 second. I gotta grab another box. So I'm going to give a broad spectrum of the baits, but like I said, these will be listed in there in the description on where I got these from. This is an actual jackhammer. That's a jackhammer. That is a Z-Man original. Look at that huge honking hook. Awesome bait. You can't entice the fish any more than you can with an original. Because of that hook, definitely a medium heavy, or even a heavy that's got low moderate, more moderate action. By the way, also Tactical Bass and Matt Allen just they released a video today about the actions of rods and different stuff. That's kind of where, like what he's talking about on that, with jigs or spinnerbaits or whatever. Sometimes you need a fairly stout rod to get the penetration when you set the hook, and that is the only downside to a Z-Man original over, let me set these right here, over a jackhammer or a custom. So I think these are all half ounces. Let me show you what I'm talking about, and then we'll go on to other stuff. So is that I can't make out if that's the custom there. I think it is. Hang on. I think all these are customs. Here's one that's more colored like that one. So anyway, the original, there's no bigger hook on Z-Man Chatterbait than the original. Definitely, you need a, they're sharp, but you need a very stout rod in order to be setting a hook. You can get by when you go to the Z-Man, Jackhammer, at Z-Man Evergreen, whatever the combination. But also, the one I like is the custom. It doesn't have the eyes. They say one of this is supposed to be tungsten, maybe, I don't know. But it also has a smaller hook, like the Jackhammer, but it's still, and so let's just jump into it, and then I'm gonna dissect the sizes of all these different chatterbaits. There's such a wide variety of them, right? But here's why I prefer this bait over the Jackhammer. I actually wish they would have left that off and went with this style, and I'll talk about that real quick. If you're using a Lastech, these are good. If you're using any other bait, these, yes, as they hold it on, they also flat destroy it. Like a fish will shake, and if it comes off once, it goes on again, it's pretty much destroyed. To where I've caught multiple fish, as long as they don't completely throw that bait off and you lose it, it's usually just slid up and it'll stay in here somewhere as a fish is pinned or whatever. But I can usually get more baits out of that, and I'll talk about those in a second. When I'm fishing the jackhammers and I'm using, the Riot Baits, just the Bass Pro Shops house brand, I'm using the Reaction Innovation Smalley Beavers, and that's the size I use, is the smaller ones. I literally can't get as many fish catches out of this style of keeper because it's tearing. Every time it pulls off, it literally, that little thing just cuts through. It cuts it off of it basically, to where I like that style on the just traditional soft plastics. What I'm hoping is I found these guys, and then they should stick on these a little better, and they shouldn't tear up as much. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's one of the first things I don't actually like about the Jackhammer, and I don't really like about this bait, but I do like the fact of being able to use little lighter rods. Let's try and let it focus. So here's my main two gripes with the Jackhammer. Price, and then its flexibility, and I'll explain that to you. $6 or $7, I don't know, $6.99. I can't remember exactly what a custom's selling for right now, or the original. Even the original, these two have something in capabilities that this doesn't. Now you're going to say, oh well, you can, but yeah, I'll talk about that in a second. So $4.99 or $6.99 or $7, I don't even remember exactly how much the customs are. They're definitely about half the price of this Jackhammer. And what some people say is what's good about the Jackhammer, and what I'm seeing on all these baits here, is what I don't like about the Jackhammer. See that? That's tied on. And with these little keepers, which kind of the customs kind of sucks at a little bit, but you kind of can get used to it. The skirt is made on. So you're like, oh, that's going to last forever, Charlie. That's awesome that they do that for you. Awesome, right? Well, here's the problem with that. So, before I get to these other sizes, let's say I've got, and I have a lot of chatterbaits, so it's hard for me to justify what I'm getting ready to say here, but let's just say that I want to go buy, and what allows me to do is I'm tracking down where I can get 1/2 ounce baits that are black, right? I want black heads, and I'm not specifically talking about colors, but here's what you can do with either the original or almost all of them except for the Jackhammers, any of them that just tie directly on. Now you can later on, but so if you're like, that's a cool factor, but then you need, so let's say you want this color, you want like a Bayou Craw type color, you want this kind of color. They all still have black heads, and you want a black and blue, and there's other colors that you're going to want a black head for, right? Well, you need one of each of these. So now you've got, not only you're taking up more tackle box space, you're spending $15, $16 a pop to get that color, okay? So you got that color in your tackle box. So you're taking up all this space, but then, so you're like, well, shoot, you know what? I would like to have this with the gold blade. I think this with the gold blade would be awesome. Well, even if they do or don't make it or whatever, like to get that, it's just a harder process, because here's what you can do. Yeah, you can just cut that off. Then you defeated one of the whole purposes of they charge so much money. You've cut that off. You can't just take that off and put it back on. So that skirt's gone. So then, yeah, you could technically do exactly what I'm talking about doing. You could have, you know, just some green, half-ounce green-headed ones, and with multiple, a few different ones with different blade colors, because you think that might be a factor, and then you can throw on different skirts. But you can't do it with this. Once you pull out of the package, the only way to do that is to cut off what is one of their big selling points. So, I mean, would it be better if maybe they just sold what they call a naked jackhammer and let you guys do whatever you wanted to? You could tie your own on or do whatever. So that's my biggest issue with it, is because I'm not doing it now, because now I've bought so many over this last few years of doing this different chatterbait testing. But back in the day, I basically only had a few black chatterbait heads. I had a few white chatterbait heads. And usually the white ones I had like a silver, and then sometimes gold, but usually then I'd have at least one chartreuse head. And if something happened to it, I lost it, we went with the chartreuse skirt on a white head. I mean, but I basically just I didn't have a lot of chatterbaits. And I'll be honest, you guys heard me say this before. I fished half-ounce baits, half-ounce spinnerbaits, half-ounce chatterbaits, half-ounce jerkbaits, half-ounce rattle traps, and even the man's bait one baby minus is somewhere, I think, around a half-ounce. I mean, I just had one or two rod and reels, and I fished half-ounce baits for bass. That's just what I did. And then when I went down, I had the one worm, basically, that I tried some of the different Berkeley. I tried the 8-inch and then the 10-inch Berkeley power worms, but then I ended up with just that tomato red Jean LaRue worm with basically a weight to where it and the worm added up to roughly around a half-ounce. So I was just there. But if you are like limited for money or space or whatever, what you can do is you can just, like, this is the way with the customs or the Z-Man original if you're really, really on a budget, or now possibly with this AliExpress stuff. But these are all tied on. But for $2.50, I mean, you can fish it for a week or two or a month and then cut that off and just start changing out colors, doing it that way too. So we're going to have to try these out. But I have no issues with my jackhammers, the ones I bought to do the testing. It's just for that much money, you can buy a lot more. Honestly, for that much money, these are $2.50 a piece, so $5. You could get 6 of these for one jackhammer. So we'll just have to see how well they last. Especially if you're like me, you're that guy throwing them in anywhere, and you're typically end up going to lose them and losing some every so often. This may be the way to go. You're not ready yet, are you? What time is it? It ain't time to go yet. You guys know what time it is? It's about time. All right, I got to wrap this up, but I'm going to talk real quick. That's my deal, and like I said, I'm going to link all these. So let's set them off to the side. I'm going to give you a quick rundown. I'll be ready in 1 second. On my, I guess, chatterbait arsenal. So let's start with, and any of these half-ounce ones, all they cover that. They're the biggest chatterbait I throw, half-ounce. I don't go any bigger. So we'll put just a random one I grabbed here. So these littler ones, and this is a Z-Man jackhammer, and this is one we just picked up. But it's kind of a size smaller. They're like a 3/8. They're a little bit smaller than the half-ounce. So just if you're just wanting to go a little subtle, and I still haven't done it yet, but I may try these with a with no skirt, because I've never really thrown this. Like you guys seen the diesel minnow and stuff. So a couple of these littler ones, I may do that. Just no skirt, put whether it be a swim bait or one of these little, not this little craw trailer, but one of these craw trailers over here. But as of now, when I'm using, you know, these 3/8 or bigger, half ounce, I'm fishing them just like this with a trailer. I never do not put a trailer on. I don't think I've ever caught a bass on these bigger chatterbaits without a trailer on of some sort. So anyway, let me find roughly the sizes I'm looking for here. Now don't quote me 100% because I don't know if I can find all 3 sizes I need to find here. But I think these little flashback mini, whatever they're called, I think they come in like 3 different sizes. I want to say, or at least 2, 16th and an 8th. So anyway, yes, this is your little creek and stream chatterbait. But you can also, you know, if you're just downsizing pan fishing, ponds, lakes, whatever, you got that option too. Then, let me find a different one for that. Then you're going, and I'll just show you 2. Then you're going with what I consider the next size, which would be your, because see, I think these are about the same weight. It may not look like it, but I think these are considered an 1/8, and I think they rate these as an 1/8. And these come with the skirt, and these come with one of these little minnows. Now, when I'm fishing down here, as you kind of notice, there's no skirt material. I think the skirt works too much like a, you know, like an umbrella. It is poofed out, and it's not letting these get down and run kind of where they need to run. Even going slow, it's like there's just, I don't know. The way I'm fishing them with just some sort of, whether it be a swim bait. You guys see me use the little craws with the, I don't know what I did with the craws. The TRD bugs is what I really like with this. But then if you want to go just a little bigger, because you still got a decent hook that, you know, well, this winter, this was tearing them up. So you kind of go in stages. So then I'm working on, I already know what I like on this stage, and I couldn't find any smaller than what you see now on AliExpress that looked worth the darn. So Z-Man still has me covered with the flashbacks and the micros. Now, they also, Z-Man came out with those others, which I guess we'll find out if these, where did that other one go? If these work worth a darn, and possibility I'll buy, though they came out the new one, but it's really not a new bait. Z-Man's had they've actually had a 1/4 ounce chatterbait for a while that's just got a smaller blade. You can get like different size other than 3/8. There's like an in between. And they came out the new one. I think it's a 1/2 ounce with a littler blade. And I've never been a huge fan of those. I think I've actually got rid of all of them I had and taken them out. Because they also make, this is a micro. They make a mini, which is a 1/4 ounce. This is 1/8 ounce. And then they make another one in between that that's still got a full, huge hook with the lighter head and a little bit smaller blade. But I didn't really like that one that much. So as you see, we're spreading out here. I guess, like I mentioned, I call this, if you're out there, you just want smaller fish, you still want to use chatterbaits, this would probably be about as big as you can go and still be considered BFS, like power BFS. Like, I would have no problem throwing that on a 661 Cayenne Teton with whatever BFS reel. I guarantee you I can set the hook on that just like I can the micro, or these micros, or one of these guys. So don't quote me, I can't remember exactly how much that weighs. So that's, I'm hoping they work. If they do, because they're not that expensive. They're cheaper than a Z-Man original. And I actually like the hook. The hook feels good. I don't know if I like this, but all it has to do is catch fish. It doesn't, I don't have to like the way it looks. I think it's made like that so you can take it off. Yeah, look at that. It comes off. So actually, you could, see how they designed that? You can play with some of your different size of your blades. That's kind of cool. If it works, we'll have to try it. It's going to get its uses. We'll try it out and see how it works. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So you kind of see the spectrum go from a 1/2 ounce down to like a 1/16 ounce, and kind of all in between I'm going to be trying out. And I'm going to try, like this will be the smallest ones we'll try without the skirts. Now if I just go out and I fish these and I just can't seem to, you know, catch a fish with the skirt on, or it just doesn't seem as good as like this, or, you know, this with the bugs, or these in the 3/8 with the, you know, craw, I will go ahead to, you know, these are tied on, I will go ahead and cut them off and then try these maybe with just a different thing and see if I can find one like, or play around with some different blade sizes, because I do have, now that's probably way too big. I got a lot of different chatterbait blades just laying around in different spots, so that would be an option also. So lastly, I'm gonna, as I get out of here, but yeah, these will definitely work. Like, look at that, the size. So you may see me instead of this with the Craw on it, right? Because if you guys don't know, I primarily with the bigger stuff, I'm trying to imitate crawdads. So I'm putting these kind of trailers on. And here's an expensive way to go. Keytech, these work, but man, they're gone. They're crazy. They're like allergic to fish. You get a bass around one of those and they just fall to pieces. Awesome baits though. I never put down Keytech for not being able to just work for flat out catching bass, but man, you go through them. Awesome baits though, all their stuff. This crazy flappers, the swing impact fat, and all those different ones. So we got this guy, stretchy one. You guys have seen him in a video. This new bait, perfect for kind of a cross. This one, I can come down in this little bait, but I also wouldn't have a problem with putting this on a heavier one, you know, just if I'm wanting to get it, say maybe I'm wanting to go deeper and still be able to just go slow as I can to get that blade chattering. Possibility on that. So you got some of these baits that can cross around. This is too big for anything other than 3/8 or half, in my opinion. But one of my favorite baits that, as I was looking into it, were these Riot Baits, and I'm going to show you one. The reason I've kind of stayed away from, I mean, I still use them, but they just don't seem to last any longer or as long as but they got a little bit of and I don't know, I like the design and the build of these things. They work pretty good. Nothing is that durable like one that's made from Z-Man. I thought I grabbed the Reaction Innovations ones, but they're basically the same thing. If you guys seen you guys know what I'm talking about, Sweet Beavers, Smalley Beavers. The Sweet Beavers I find are too big. I don't like putting anything too big on my chatterbaits, even the half-ounce ones. So my swim baits I typically put a little bit smaller than what most people probably do when I do put swim baits on. But like this guy right here, perfect size, which is their small river bug, 3.5 inch, not the 4 1/4, whatever. That's what I use on my half-ounce chatterbaits. I do the swim bait deal sometimes, and then if you guys haven't heard me talk about before, Meredith baits. I like their baits on AliExpress. They're kind of limited in colors, but this color for dark water, you know, dirty, mucky water. Then they got a few different natural colors. I do like some of the Keytech, actually even the Guggen baits, and Strike King's got a few different colors. Electric shad. I like an electric shad color pretty much for anything. So anyway, is there anything I didn't cover? And there's all kinds of things, like just think soft plastics for these. Now here's what I'd suggest. Could be on these, we'll have to find out yet. If you haven't tried it, try to go down. When you go down, like say 1/4 or smaller, try to go without that skirt on. And just try it and see what you guys think. Yeah. So anyway, I gotta go. I gotta take Valencia to work. We had 6 or 8 inches of snow. I just drove 350 miles in it, sort of, not really. First hour and a half was snow, then I got up way north in Kansas. Highland, Summerfield, Kansas area off 36, and it was all clear. All right, guys, comment below. I'll have more on this. This is just to get you seeing what's out there. And I will link these at some point in time. Thanks for watching, guys. Get out, go bass and bonsai, pick you up some chatterbaits, and whatever you do, make sure you have fun spending your $15.99 on your jackhammers, because I don't.